recording. And Tara Lee, I see her on here. Tara Lee, why don't you go ahead and start us off? So you can just, hang on, let me go ahead and mute everybody, and then you can unmute yourself. That way, if anybody's on the phone, they're not loud. Okay, take it over. Tell us, well, you can just introduce yourself at first for people who maybe don't know who you are. And tell us, what was your why when you first started coaching? What happened to you kind of along your journey? Did it change? Did it evolve? And what is it now, looking towards the end of this year and beginning of next year?
Okie dokie. So first of all, I'm Tara Lee Davis. I'm a one-star diamond coach, and the Inspire Tribe, they're my people. I haven't even had a chance to look to see if anybody's on here, but for those of you who do know me, you know that I am the opposite of a night owl. So I do all my work at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I have had a lot of homework. And so I was reading this message. It was like midnight, and I responded, "Hey, I'm still awake." And so I didn't realize that I was supposed to be on this call, so I jumped in late. So sorry. So you're getting like a 100% raw, unedited why. So, but I started coaching at the beginning of February, March of 2014. And I actually became a coach because the 21-day fix was completely sold out. And the only way that you could get it was if you were a coach. That was the only way that they were shipping out challenge packs at that point, because it was sold out. And I had gone through where I had gained some weight and all of my clothes were too tight. And so I was like, I'm in, because I wanted the discount for Shakeology. And so 2 weeks into the 21-day fix, all of these changes were happening, and everybody I knew was asking me what the heck was going on. And so I talked about that, and I was like, you know what, I think I really can do this. And I think over the next 2 weeks, quickly became Emerald and started off that way. And so initially my why was to get into shape and to cover my Shakeology. I mean, that's literally all that I was in it for. And then my husband saw how my life was changing with becoming, not just losing the weight, but just I had some thyroid issues, and I was just like a whole new person. I had so much energy. I have 4 kids that I homeschool. And so I was pretty much loving life and loving being able to spend more time with them and do more things with them. And so he started drinking Shakeology. So I had 2. That was kind of a big deal to me, like to make enough money to cover both of our Shakeology. I was like, yeah. So over the next 6 months, from that, I started to see what an amazing opportunity that this could be for our family. And in that time period, our financial situation changed a lot to where I was needing to look for some type of work, whether that be a part-time job or something, some work at home, something, to really supplement our income. My husband couldn't just go out and get another job or work overtime. He's on salary. And so he literally is at a place where he's not able to do anything else. So that's when I really started to push to make this something more. And then as time went on, and I've really been, I homeschool my kids. I'm in college full-time, and my husband's in school full-time. So I have a very limited amount of time. And so I've built my business fairly slowly, especially compared to other people on that team. But it's been a steady income growth for me. And now I'm at the place where I don't have to worry about a $14 paycheck and then it kind of fluctuating. And so I'm very grateful for that. But as time went on, it's just crazy how things change. And so now I'm at the place where we are, looking to pay off debt and having to change our insurance plan. And having a lot of medical bills right now. And so to not be stressed about it, because I can take my Beachbody income and pay for these things that are coming in that are unexpected, it really has helped so much in our family because it's taken that stress off to get, you know, a couple $100 medical bill and not freak out like I used to, or to have a car repair and not freak out like I used to. Is just an amazing feeling. And honestly, the why of it's not just financial. Some of my closest friends are coaches that are on my team. And it's not because I knew them before coaching. It's we've grown, and I feel like I've been through the trenches with them. And so now I have this wonderful supportive community that is just kind of spurring me on in my own journey. That's kind of really helped me to see it's not just about the fact that I have a paycheck. It's so much more than that. And I absolutely love it. So does that answer the question?
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For sharing. And I totally relate to that feeling of when you have something unexpected come up and like your gut reaction is panic, and then you're like, oh, I don't need to panic. This isn't as bad as it used to be. And then you have like this huge wave of like excitement and gratitude because you're like, oh, okay, we can deal with this. Like, it's okay. And that's a huge, huge relief. And, you know, as someone who is, you know, leading a household or leading a family, like you feel all that pressure for being the one that makes everything okay. So it's so nice when you can like breathe a sigh of relief yourself. That's at least how I feel. Okay. Who did I have next? Mandy, you ready to go?
Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Okay, so I'm sick, so I'm sorry that I sound kind of like a frog. I'm still kind of getting my voice back. I started with Beachbody back in October of 2013 because I saw Becca's 2-week transformation, and I started just a couple weeks after that, I think, from seeing that, and I jumped right on, I believe, as a discount coach because I'm a stay-at-home mom and my husband works at a ministry, so we are pretty strapped. So I needed to get it for as cheaply as I could. And then I did challenge groups and didn't do coaching for about a year and a half after that. Becca messaged me a couple of times because I was posting on Facebook and kind of doing what a coach does already, but I didn't want to coach because I didn't think I would be a good leader because I had struggled and I didn't think anyone would, you know, want to follow me. But eventually I decided to. I had several people messaging me and asking me what I was doing. And so I thought, okay, you know, maybe I'll just try this out and at least pay for my Shakeology. So January of this year is when I started leading challenge groups and actively coaching. And it's grown relatively steadily. It's done like the thing where it kind of goes up, but it goes down as it's going up. And I've been able to pay for my husband's Shakeology. He drinks it every day too now. So it's been really great for us. My original why was we've always known that I would have to do something to bring in some kind of income if we wanted to ever do anything. And so my original why was that I could stay home and do a job that I really loved, and my husband actually enjoys his job. He loves his job, but he works at a ministry, and so they don't pay as highly as a secular job would do. So my why was being able to support his income so that he could do something that he loves, with it not paying as well. So then my why kind of changed a little bit. Our son was diagnosed with autism, and we were faced with a lot of like this one particular therapy that was ridiculously high cost, and it just wouldn't ever be in our budget. I mean, there's just no way that we could afford it. And so my why kind of transitioned into being able to support Dale in the therapies that we would have to do with him. And then, so my why apparently revolves around money, but we have some money put aside for Dale, and then it's kind of transitioned into just being able to do things that I couldn't do growing up. I grew up super duper poor. Like, I was so very jealous of my friends that shopped at Walmart. I got, Goodwill and hand-me-downs from my two older sisters, and we were like dirt floor poor. So I would love to not have my kids experience that. I know that it's not this terrible thing, but for Dale to play soccer or for Bryn to do dance, that would just never have it ever been a possibility for me. When I played soccer in high school, I had to have a job and pay for it because my parents just couldn't pay for anything. If I wanted clothes for school, I had to buy them. I don't want our kids to do that. So now it's just, my why is so that we can, I feel bad saying like we can give our kids things, but like I just want to be able to give our kids more than I had. And it's kind of hard to do that when one person works for a ministry and I stay home. So this has enabled us to put some money aside to be able to do some more things for them and to pay for Dale's therapy and to not have Mike feel pressure to go outside of the company that he loves to be able to support us more. And like Tara-Lee said, it's kind of, Mike asked me in the very beginning of this if I would continue doing it if I didn't get paid anything. And I said yes, because from the very beginning when I had girls having stories that they told me, I loved it. Like I loved being a part of this girl telling me that she did something that she didn't think that she could do. And it's just grown from that. I love when the girls post in my group about being able to do a plank and they could never do it, being able to do push-ups that they never ever would have thought they could do a single push-up. And so I don't know, it's just pretty, I don't know, I just love it. And so even if I didn't get paid, I would continue doing it. Probably wouldn't put as much time as I do now, but I would still continue doing it. It's something that I never knew that I love doing. So yeah.
Thank you, Mandy. That's so funny you say that, because I say that phrase all the time. Like, this is something I never knew that I would have even liked. Like, I would have never thought when I was in college or in high school or middle school or elementary school, people were like, what are you going to do when you grow up? I would have never been like, I'm going to be a fitness coach, because I wouldn't have. I don't love fitness, but fitness, like with Beachbody coaching, fitness can be the whole thing, or it can be a vehicle, like you can kind of use it either way. And for me, it's a little of both. It's a vehicle to, being able to create positive change in whatever that looks like, whether it's health or nutrition or time or thought patterns or finances or whatever. And I'm 100% with you. I'm having a life for our son that is free of the constraints that come with not having a lot of finances is a big part of my why, because Nate, my husband, was a missionary kid, and I grew up in a not very wealthy family, but I went to a private school that was full of wealthy kids. So I was constantly kind of seeing the difference between my family and their lifestyle and my lifestyle, and nothing ever, super crazy, but if Cadence wants to try soccer, I want to be able to try it and have it not be like where we're scrimping pennies together to do it. And if he doesn't like it, I don't want him to feel guilty quitting because we spent all our money on it. Like those little things. We all want better for our kids than we had for ourselves. So I think that is huge. That's a huge motivator. And, anytime you have your child going through anything that is stressful with therapies or medical issues, that always ups the ante, for any mom. We're like, we'll do whatever it takes. We'll move mountains, whatever it is. Got that mom power in us. Okay, who did I have? Thank you, Mandy. Who did I have going after? Lisa, are you ready? Go ahead and unmute yourself, my love.
Sure. So I basically don't need to talk. Mandy and Becca pretty much did it for me. So no, I'm going to time myself because I'm chatty. Okay, 7 minutes. Ready? Go. So my why originally, when I first at the very, very beginning started, I have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, for the few of you guys who may not know what that is. And it's a hormonal disorder, causes women to gain a crap ton of weight. It's 9 o'clock here, guys, and I can't not look at the chat. So stop, no chatting while I'm talking. And it causes you to gain a ton of weight. I had gained only 24 pounds with my first pregnancy. And, you know, they always say if you gain between 20 and 30 pounds, it should be easier to come off, blah, blah, blah. Well, that didn't work for me. I had done the YMCA for 5 days a week, an hour or more each day. I thought I was eating well. I didn't really know. But I thought I was eating well. And so I had tried all of that. I tried Couch to 5K. I was breastfeeding. I was doing everything that I thought I could that was right. And meanwhile, we were missionaries. And so we just weren't making a lot of money to like invest into any kind of program or anything. And I literally just kind of gave up. After about 7 or 8 months, when Kai was 7 or 8 months old, I just kind of gave up. And I was like, all right, this is what it is. However, when I got pregnant with my second one, Asher, he ended up telling me, or I ended up only gaining 24 pounds again with him. However, I had hit my like max weight ever. It was 180 pounds because I had never lost the weight from Kai. Like literally, Kai was 6 pounds, 3 ounces, and somehow I didn't lose that weight. I don't know how, but it was crazy. So I was desperate. A bunch of my friends were doing T25, but my husband was a pastor. Well, he still is for a few more months. Is a pastor and doesn't make hardly any money. And I'm a stay-at-home mom because we can't afford to pay for childcare. So if I were to get a job, it would cancel itself out. And the bills started rolling in from the birth, which holy cow, birthing, like having a baby in the US is crazy expensive. So, the bills started rolling in and we're looking at thousands of dollars coming our way. And I started like freaking out. I told Josh, I'm like, I'm going to have to get a job at night, like so that you come home, you watch the kids, and then I go somewhere and work. Like I didn't know how it was going to work, but I was freaking out. And a bunch of my friends were doing T25. So I started looking into it and I saw the price tag and I was like, holy crap, no, there's no way in a million years I can spend $200 on a program. And I actually came across Lindsay Matway, a video from her. And she started talking about the Beachbody opportunity and how it could offset the cost of your challenge pack. And I was like, okay, now like I might be able to do that. And I actually just a couple of days ago, it's funny that Becca mentions this because I went back to the very beginning of our chat. I became a coach at the very tail end of May of last year. And I went back to our conversation because I'm like, I know I just like word vomited all over her. I had already done all my research. I knew what was up. And I was just like, hey, is this really true? Because I don't want to get into some big scam. Like, and I'm like, but I really need to make money and I need to lose this weight. And so it was all about money and losing weight for me. Like I needed a way to get fit. But I couldn't leave my kids. Gym prices, like a family membership here is like $175 or $150, something like that a month here. And so I was like, I can't afford that every month. I can't. We don't have family or friends around to watch our kids. And so we just don't have that option of like, here, go hang out with grandma and grandpa while I go running, you know? And so I originally 100% started off to help pay medical bills and to lose weight. And in the first month, I lost like, I don't know, something like 10 pounds, which I had never done in years. First of all, when I was young, I was always thin. I never needed to. But then once I started having babies, like I was never able to lose the weight. And so it was amazing to me. Like, I had people coming out of the woodwork, helping, wanting in. And through that, the next month, I actually ran my own challenge group. I had like 7 or 8 people the first month. And that's when I really saw the potential of what this could be income-wise for me. At the beginning, it was really just about offsetting the costs and then hopefully making some money. But I really was like, my big, hairy, audacious goal was to one day get to $500 a month. And I think that Becca may have actually laughed at me when I said that. And I'm like, no, seriously. And then now, like last month, I made almost $1,800, which for me was like record breaking. But, you know, that's a huge difference. And so now, like slowly that first month became all about my challengers. These were close family and friends that, you know, saw my change and wanted in right away. And I started seeing their bodies change and seeing their confidence change and like all these amazing things. And then all of a sudden I started getting these messages of like, Lisa, thank you so much, you know, like for inspiring me. Thank you for pushing me when I didn't think I had it in me, like all of this, I don't know, just amazingness. And it made me start feeling really fulfilled. Guys, I lived overseas for 4 years away from family and friends. Sure, we made friends there, but we didn't have like close friends that I had known for years and years and years. We've lived here not even 3 years yet. I have some good friends here. I don't necessarily have super close friends. And so to start having like that connection after being in a place where I had been at home with kids constantly, I didn't have a whole lot of adult interaction. And when I did, it was ministry. And so anybody who's ever been in ministry knows that people put you on a pedestal and you can't say whatever you think, whatever thought comes across your brain. You really have to be guarded, and because people will judge you and they'll judge you hard. And so 7 minutes, guys, wrapping up. So it was amazing to me to get this incredible community of like-minded coaches, of other people that were Christians, but still like they needed a whole lot of Jesus, but cursed a little. Isn't that something? No. And just, I don't know, an amazing community. And then I got like all these women that I had met or known from across the country and now across the globe, because I have missionary friends that are jumping in and doing Beachbody all around the world now. And so just being able to say, or hear what they say and be able to pour back into their lives, it's become a ministry for me, as well as just a way to make money at home while still being with my family and not missing those moments. It would kill me if somebody else saw my kids walk before I could or hear the first word. And so it's been everything to me as far as my priorities, which are God, family, and then jobs, careers, passions, things like that. And so it's kind of tied it all up into one. So I may have gone 8 minutes, but that's pretty darn good.
that was wonderful and still succinct. You still kept it all in there, but I love it. Okay. I don't want to babble too much. So, Jess, are you ready? Whenever you're ready, just unmute. Oh, I can hear you now. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know what happened. Okay, so I actually first started as a discount coach. And so I signed up in January of last year, I guess, after watching Becca. And for me, I didn't need to lose a lot of weight, but I didn't feel comfortable in my skin, and I just really wasn't very happy. So I had just finished my PhD and was finishing up with my first postdoc, and it was super stressful. And when you go through all that, you don't spend a lot of time on yourself. So I was excited to finally spend time on myself, and I was living on a postdoc salary. Well, my husband made money, but I didn't want to ask him for money to buy Shakeology. That sounds horrible. I don't have to ask my husband for money, but if you're an independent woman, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I signed up as a discount coach to get the discount on Shakeology, and I loved it. I was telling everybody all about everything, and Becca, I think she reached out to me like once before and was like, hey, why don't you try this coaching thing? And I'm like, no, nobody's gonna follow me. Like, I don't need to lose a lot of weight. Like, who's gonna talk to me? And then I kept seeing her posts about, I think, the cruise she went on and all these trips and how she was making money. And I was like, man, I'm a lowly postdoc. I don't make crap for money. Like, I like this.
wouldn't that be kind of cool? So I started off, like, well, maybe I can afford the Shakeology. And then Chris got on board, so then I wanted to be able to buy Shakeology for him and covered that, and that was all good. And I felt really good helping people. Like, I actually used to run like a running blog, and when I would train for my first marathon and shared about it, but there was just a little bit of interaction, nothing huge. And I really wanted to try to help more people. So this felt amazing. And I'm more of a cheerleader, encouraging kind of person. So to me, coaching was just awesome for that. And I like to try to cheer people up and see silver linings. I don't know, it's just kind of my personality. So I love that aspect that I could share that about myself. Well, then I started this new postdoc, and I don't love it at all. And it's super stressful. And what I've realized is everyone who's working in my field, they don't have time for their families at all. Like my boss, his wife lives in a completely different state for the past 3 years. And funding was really available when I first started school, but if you're in the sciences now, funding is next to impossible to get, and you make your money off of grant funding. Well, now it's so hard to get grant funding that it's really hard to find a job, and I'm realizing I don't want to put in these long, crazy hours and be away from family doing something that I don't like anymore. So once I started making more of an income and seeing more of the potential that I can have with Beachbody over this past year, I realized that, I want to make this more of a full-time income because I love science and I want to work in science, but I want to be able to work wherever I want, doing whatever I want because I want to, not because I have to, not because I have to worry about some funding. I want to be able to fund my own project or do my own research. So it's kind of crazy. However, this past year it's progressed that way for me. And it's funny because I used to say that when we have kids, oh my God, I can't imagine staying at home. Like, I think I'd be so bored. And now that we're trying to have kids, I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't want to be at work all day. I want to be at home. So this is what I see as being my future, and finding a way to, fitness and nutrition is science. So marrying the two together really isn't hard. And I'm just working on finding my little niche in the world of science using it. So I don't know. I wasn't planning on saying half of that, but that's just what came out. So that's my story.
I love it. It was so cute too. You wrapped it up so perfectly. And I love that you shared that because it's such a unique perspective to you. But there's actually a handful of people on our team that have similar backgrounds to you, Jess, now. So it's kind of cool that you guys can connect over that and that kind of shared experience and struggle. And you guys probably have, similar reactions from people after going through tons and tons and tons of school and then, switching directions. We all kind of come in with our own histories and our own stories and our own experiences that we bring to it. And we're all doing this thing. And sometimes we can feel so isolated, like we're the only person that goes through this or the only person that struggles with it. But odds are someone else, even just on our team, even not in all of Beachbody, can relate. And so that was part of why I was really excited for you guys to share, because I know that I always love hearing just, from random people, as many people as possible, their stories and where they come from and how they feel about coaching, because I think it's so inspiring. So thank you so much for sharing. Let's see, who do I have next? Sarah, you ready to go?
Okay, you hear me okay? All right. Okay, so I started coaching about a year, well, it was a year ago in August. So it was like August of 2014 when I had just, well, first of all, back up, I'd watched Becca for a long time. I met Becca like 6 years ago or something when she was, doing wedding, and I was doing wedding invitations, and we were kind of in like this wedding industry. And so I've known her for a while, and I've just like watched her on Facebook. And while I was pregnant with my third baby, I was like, well, I'm going to do whatever she's doing as soon as I have this baby. And so I go back and I look at like my old messages with her and stuff. And she's like, I was checking in and seeing, just how things were going. And I was like, yes, as soon as I have this baby and I'm clear to work out, I'm doing it. So I did. So like literally on my 6 weeks postpartum, I like started PIO and started doing everything. And I still have the email to her where I said, well, I'm just going to be a discount coach, but maybe if I make some extra money, that would be nice. And so then I started, I jumped in and I kind of just started doing it. And I ran my own challenge group, I think in November of last year. And I've just been running them ever since. And because I started losing weight, well, first of all, I should say with my first and second child, I wore maternity clothes to work until they were 8 months old. And like didn't even pull out any of my old clothes, just wore my maternity stuff because I couldn't fit into anything. I didn't want to buy new clothes. And I just felt like they held in like my rolls, like built-in Spanx. And so I said, that's not going to happen. I'm putting all my maternity clothes away when I go back to work at 12 weeks. And that was my goal. So I did. I packed them all in a box and I put them in the attic. And with the help of PIO and challenge groups and all of that, I was able to lose my weight. And then I went back to work and people like everyone else kind of was saying sort of were coming out of the woodwork. People started talking to me about it. I realized like I was really passionate about it. And then just decided to really kind of jump in full force to coaching. So I have a full-time job. My husband has a full-time job. We're fortunate that my in-laws live here in Florida with us, who watch our kids during the day. My job is really, really flexible. I'm a graphic designer at Disney. So I love it. And I've really been trying to work the business building side of this all while still keeping while still doing my job and being present at home and doing all of that. And so I think like originally my whys were that I wanted to lose weight and wear regular clothes. That was really what it was, and maybe make some extra money. And as time went on and I started seeing like people doing the challenge groups and making these huge changes and, and my mom, especially like when my mom jumped in and did it, my mom had like kind of struggled with her weight for a really long time and had done everything and always ate healthy and did all this stuff. Well, she started doing the 21 day fix. And when she saw changes and I saw like how much it had helped her and helped her, emotionally as well, I was just like, I just want to keep doing this for people. Like it was really fulfilling to me to see that happening. And then two, I moved here from Wisconsin 10 years ago, met my husband in Florida. And so I kind of came in at this weird thing where I didn't have like this group of friends. We weren't all like getting married together or having babies together, like all of that. When I had kids, I was the only one out of my my couple of friends here that had kids. And so I didn't even like nights that my husband had to work, I would remember like, well, I don't have anybody to hang out with. Like I just have my kids and I don't even have like another mom like to go hang out with or do anything. And so once, I got into like all of the coaching, it's just, I don't know. I feel like making friends as a grown up is really hard, making good friends. And I feel like I've made like really good, close friends just by doing this whole coaching thing. Like people that I talk to on a daily basis, my success partners and everything. And we can just talk about whatever random things. It doesn't even have to be about Beachbody, but I don't know. So my why has sort of evolved from like wanting to change weight to wanting to help people, wanting to lose weight, wanting to help people. And now it's, like everybody says, is having more of a life of freedom and being able to be more present and just be flexible with everything. I went home this summer for 11 days and just being home and just like not having to think about work. It's being able to do Beachbody, being able to like travel around Wisconsin with my family. I mean, it was like, that's what I want my life to be. I want my life to be like, well, if we want to go somewhere, we can go somewhere. If we have family that lives out of state, okay, let's take 2 weeks off and let's go do that. So, yeah, that's where I'm going. I don't know. I kind of babbled. I don't even have like anything I'm following, and my timer didn't go off, and I don't even think it started. So
thank you so much, Sarah. I love that I had two little notes that I wanted to say before we move on. I love that you say that, because that was such a big deal for me, was the community. And it was something that I wasn't really expecting. And I think that's why it was such a big deal. It kind of like hit me and shocked me. And I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you guys like did team sports, or if you were in a club or a sorority or anything like that, where you had like that real tight like sisterhood bond. But I wasn't in a sorority, but I played team sports. I played volleyball really competitively, and was in like a club and played for my high school. And we were like a really well-respected team. And you know how that bond is when you have those teammates, and you literally like blood, sweat, and tears together. And you go through these hard things, and, you know, sometimes you mess up, and everybody's there to just tell you like, keep going. And you know, it's been like since I graduated in 2003. So it's been that long since I had anything like that in my life. And it wasn't until coaching came back that I realized even how much I had missed it. Like it was like I almost didn't even realize how lonely for it I had become. Like, I have my husband, and I have a couple really close friends, but it's not the same feeling of like working really hard towards something together and having those people there that fully support you, that you can, you know, you fall flat on your face in front of sometimes, you mess it up, like you shank the ball off in the wrong direction, you miss the point, like whatever the things are that you mess up, and everyone's like, it's okay, like brush it off, walk it off, like we'll be fine. And you have that thing together. And I didn't realize how much I missed it until I came back, and the community of it was like so shocking to me that I used to joke with Nate. I was like, I would do this for free just to get to like keep making friends and keep having people to like hang out with all the time, because it's so true. Making friends as a grown-up is really difficult, and like it adds all these levels of dimension. Like making friends as a grown-up is hard, making friends as a significant other is hard, making friends as a married couple with kids is hard. You like add all these elements. This is totally a tangent, but Nate and I always joke all the time, like when he meets someone and he really likes that person, but they're married, it's always like, oh, but are the spouses going to like each other too? Like, because you could really like someone, but like your husbands, like they don't get along, and then you can never hang out as couples, you know? So it's so difficult to make friends as a grown-up, because there's just too many factors at play. So I love that. I love that you said that. Oh, let me see. Who do I have next? Oh, what did you just say? I didn't say it because I went in complete direction, but part of my why is very similar to Mandy's in wanting more for my kids than I had. We didn't have a lot of money earlier either, and my best friend's mom took care of us after school, so I watched her do ballet, gymnastics, horseback riding. I want my kids to be able to do those things. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think everybody that's a mom has that somewhere deep down in them, like just wanting their kids to be able to have fun and enjoy life, you know, without all that stress. Okay, we have 2 people left. So Vanessa, are you ready to go?
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna start my timer because I feel like I have so much to say, and I really do want to like respect everyone's time. So my name is Vanessa, and I'm a 1-star qualifying diamond coach. I started coaching February of last year. So it's been about a year and a half. And thanks, Mandy. So my why, basically, my husband's a teacher, and I stay home with our 3 kids. And I had just had my 3rd, and I was not losing the baby weight at all. And it came off pretty easily for my first 2, so I was pretty frustrated. But we didn't really have any money to buy a challenge pack. But I had maybe 6 friends who all had kids. Like we all had kids like within a couple weeks of each other. So we were all in the same boat, and I saw what Becca was doing, and I was like, you know what? For anything, I'm sure some of my friends are going to want to join me, and we're going to do this together, and I can pay for my challenge pack, which my husband was happy for me to invest the money in it anyways, but I wanted to, you know, I'm with you, Jess. Like I wanted to like pay for my own thing and just not have to have him worry about that. So basically my why and my goals were to just pay for my challenge pack And then because I had my 3 kids like back to back to back, I really hadn't like had fun with like fashion or buying clothes because I had never like had a chance to really even ever get there. I would be like pregnant before I was whatever. So I was like, okay, I would love to earn some money to buy some new clothes. So yeah, not like paying for sick kids or anything. I just wanted to buy new clothes. But that was my why. So in like my first 2, I think, or 3 months, I was able to do that. And that was amazing. But in the process, it turned into more than just like selling something to people. I was leading challenge groups, and I was being involved in these women's lives, and I was starting to see them having changes. And I was starting to learn the connection between physical change and emotional change and spiritual change, and how this was more than just me losing some pounds. Like I was gaining self-control in my eating that I had never had before. And then I was gaining self-control in other areas of my life. It was just like this ripple effect. And I was taking charge of my health instead of feeling like a victim. And then that was bleeding over into everything else in my life. And all of a sudden, I was just like, just seeing this incredible shift, even doing the personal development and seeing just my mindset change and realizing that my health was sort of like this first domino to everything else in my life just being transformed. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I need to share this with everyone. And so my why shifted then from just these small financial goals to really like wanting to make a change in people's lives, because I have so many friends with these big hearts, but people with big hearts tend to give to others always and leave themselves for last. And then that in and of itself just puts these limits on you. You can't give up to a certain point because you don't have anything inside of you to give. And so I just realized that when I shifted my vision from always giving to others to taking care of myself first, all of a sudden my limits were just expanding so much. I had so much more energy. I had so much more to give to people because I was investing in myself. And I wanted to unlock that in my friends who had these big hearts but were struggling as well, especially as young moms, with exhaustion, with feeling overwhelmed, with all of these things. And I was like, okay, just try to get your health in order, and that'll unlock some energy for you. And then once you do that, you may find that discipline of working out every day helps you to have discipline in other areas, and you don't feel as overwhelmed. And I just, like it just turned into this ministry really to want to help other women. And then as that began to happen, and I began to hit, instead of Success Club 5, Success Club 10, and I began to build coaches under me, and I began to see the income potential, then I could see how that could also be this life transformative opportunity for people. And now today, my why is my coaches and my team. Like they are everything to me. They are my heart. Like I talk to them and I know what their why is, and I know that they have babies at home and they want to quit their jobs to be with them. And as a mom, like that just, my heart just burns for that. And so I want to be successful because I want to take everything I've learned and pour it back to them. Like I can't give them what I don't have. So I'm like running and forging ahead and holding myself to this level of excellence, not for me, but because if I don't do it, I have nothing to give to them. And their goals are incredible, and they want to, build things for their families and get out of debt. And they have like these amazing dreams, and their dreams are now like my dreams. Like I know I can't do it for them, but if I don't lead the way, and if I don't hold that standard high, and if I don't figure out difficult situations, how can I help them? So that's really my why now, is my team and my coaches, and I want to see them just have incredible success. And again, it's just like that unlocking of potential, right? Like, so when you get healthy, it unlocks your potential. At the same time, when you get financially healthy, it unlocks your potential. And so I want all these women on my team, and even those who aren't on my team, but who will be one day, because, I got my eye on them. But, all these people that I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, do you not realize your dreams can come true? You know, it's not just like this magical thing. Like, you work hard, you help other people, you believe in yourself, and don't even doubt that's going to happen for you. So that's really where my why is right now, and just kind of the progression of how that's been for me. And I love it. It's like everything to me. Coaching is everything to me. The community, how it's changed me as a person, and just the ability to be able to like give this amazing gift to other people. It's like, I want to do it all the time. So anyways, that's it. I don't even know how long that was.
That was perfect. Thank you, Vanessa. One thing that I wanted to point out, I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but there really hasn't been someone who was like, my why from the beginning has been that I wanted to be, you know, a millionaire, and I knew that this was exactly it. No, that's not usually what happens. Like, everybody was like, my why in the beginning was that I just wanted to get, you know, plugged in and lose some weight and make some money. So never discount those people when you're talking to them. Don't think that just because you don't have people coming to you like, I'm ready to be a 6-figure earner, like, let's do this, that they're not going to be amazing coaches, because these people are all amazing coaches. They're all like leading teams. They're all, you know, diamonds, star diamonds, creating crazy ripple effects. And you can see that it kind of is this evolving thing that happens. So never ever give up on people just because they don't see the potential just yet for themselves. Sometimes they just have to, you know, get in it a little bit to get a little taste of what it feels like. I've heard a bunch of people say, once I, you know, I felt what it was like to have the people in my groups having success, and that became, you know, something I wanted more and more. Like, that is definitely something that I think can kind of be addicting, you know, like you start to see other people have these breakthrough moments and it makes you feel so good. And then you want like to do that more for more people. So I love that is something that has kind of come in different stories, said different ways, but a lot of the time people come into it dipping their toes, and that doesn't mean that someone's not going to be an incredible coach and doesn't have that amazing potential inside of them. And we as leaders need to be able to kind of cultivate that, like blow on the embers and get it into like a full-fledged roaring fire. But I just wanted to point that out because I thought that was kind of interesting. Okay, we're going to wrap up. Lynette is going to close this out. So I'm going to go ahead and mute and you can take it away.
All right. I'm Lynette, and I am a diamond coach. I've been a coach since the middle of March, I believe I signed up. I found Beachbody through my sister. My sister was one of Becca's pretty early on, I think, one of her challengers. And my sister had such great success. She had just had her first baby, and I was pregnant at the time, and I was like, what are you doing? And I want to do that when my baby's born. And so it was my 5th baby. So anyway, so I was like, I want to do that. And so whenever I had my baby, he's my youngest, I waited a little bit because money was really tight, you know, and I ended up, I think he was maybe 4 months, somewhere in there, when I started. And I ended up signing up with a coach local to me because she would allow me to do the groups without doing Shakeology. So I purchased a challenge pack, but then I didn't think I'd be able to keep up Shakeology because I didn't think I could afford it. And so I did the groups, but I kind of fell out because with no investment, it just never works. And because Shakeology is amazing. And anyway, so I started back in February. I really knew I wanted to start up again, but I was like, but I'm going to do Shakeology whenever I do it because Shakeology is amazing. And again, I was like, what am I going to do? I don't think I'm going to be able to afford it. So I sold cloth diapers to be able to afford my challenge pack. And I switched coaches to Becca because I'd been watching Becca, And I knew that if I signed up, I was going to be a business builder this time, or I was going to do something. And I knew that I wanted a coach who was really going to be able to lead me, somebody who knew what they were doing. So I chose Becca because I'd been watching her, and I was excited. So anyway, I signed up with her. And so my why at that point, my why was, yes, I wanted to lose some more weight. I wanted to get fit, you know, and I wanted to be able to afford the Shakeology by being a discount coach. But at the same time, I was like, well, it changed really quickly for me because it started out, I didn't have much faith in myself. And so I started out, I was like, if I could just pay for my Shakeology, that'd be great. And then like a day later, I was like, no, if I could make $500 a month, that'd be great. And then I'm like, no, no, I want a full-time income. So anyway, and then I was like, yeah, I'm going to be in the top 10. So anyway, it just really changed. But for me, if people ask me why I do what I do, I tell them, well, for one, I love it, but also our family has had a really hard time. From the time that we got married, from the time we had kids and I stopped working, we've probably, and I'll be really honest, I don't like telling this to people, and I did a really good job hiding it. But we made $10,000 to $12,000 less per year than the poverty level. And so it was just really, really hard. And every time I had to go grocery shopping, I would literally get nauseous. And because I didn't know what I was going to choose between, you know, if I was going to choose between meat and, you know, detergent, or if I was going to leave things. And it was so demoralizing doing that, and then standing at the register trying to figure out, okay, did I add it up right in my head? Is it going to go through? You know, and I never, ever, ever wanted to feel that again. And I think that's what drives me really hard, because I do not ever want to feel that again. And I do not ever want my kids, I don't want to have to wait 6 weeks to buy groceries and like dig through the cupboards to figure out what I'm going to make and, you know, play that game. And, you know, so that's a huge thing. And I don't want to tell my kids, no, we can't do that picture at school. We can't, you know, whatever. So I know that builds character, but we'll figure out some other way to build character. And so that's a huge part of my why. And as I started having some success, my why did change a little bit. Because now I think I have enough belief in myself that I know that I can do those things. But so now part of my why is when I was having babies back to back to back, I lost kind of part of who I was, and all of my hobbies were, you know, cloth diapering and baby wearing and all that, which is good. I still have those hobbies, but nothing was me centered at all. And I realized when our last child was born that I didn't have I wasn't going to need those things forever. And so I was like, what am I going to do? And so now, you know, Beachbody has become my thing I do. And, you know, it has the community as well. And also I'm drawing a blank actually. But, I think it's really sad, but like money kind of enables us to express who we are. That's so sad to say that. But like, there's a part of us that like, you know, it takes money to buy clothes that show who we are. It takes all these things to do the things that we enjoy. And so now I see me being able to add to our income, a way for us to be able to be who we are instead of just being who we can be, if that makes sense. So that's actually a huge part of my why now, because it's enabling us to actually do the things that we love. So that's kind of it. I probably went over.
No, that was wonderful. You were great. I know everybody's like keep tearing up. And I can completely relate to that feeling. Nate and I, we were never in like a dangerous spot exactly, because the nature of our business gave us a lot of flexibility. you know, like if we didn't have enough money, we could run a photography special or contact all the planners we know and ask for leads or whatever. You know, we had a little bit more flexibility than people who just have 9-to-5 jobs with set paychecks. But at the same time, we had no control over how much income we had coming in at any given time. So while it was great that we had that flexibility, if nobody actually booked anything, we were screwed. And so there were a couple of times when, you know, life came up or whatever happened and we ran out of money before we thought we were going to, or we couldn't book, that I've definitely left groceries at the counter after having my card declined and having to be like, I don't know what's wrong. That's so weird. And like having to leave the store totally embarrassed to go home and like figure out what accounts I can, you know, maneuver to be able to go back and like find a totally different cashier, like way far away from the one I originally had. Or I have to awkwardly be like, okay, well, can you take, you know, that coffee creamer off and that almond milk and, you know, the shampoo, and then how much is that now? And like you got people in line behind you and you're just like, oh my God. I hate that feeling. It was horrible. Actually, the other day at Target, my card got declined because the bank had shut it down. You know how like when there's security breaches, they'll just shut your cards down. And I didn't get the message, so I didn't know. And I had like that old feeling of like, what do you mean there's not enough money in my account? Like panic. And Cadence had literally already ripped open like one of the things we had bought. And I was like, I can't leave it here now. Like, what do I do? And it was the worst feeling. And it just reminded me. And I was like, never again. Never, ever, ever again am I going to allow myself to do this. Like I will message every person I've ever met on Facebook to ask them to join my challenge before I'll ever let us get in this situation again. So yeah, beautiful. And I completely relate. Okay. So we are a little bit over an hour, so I'm not going to do any Q&A today. But thank you guys so much for joining, especially on a week that was a little bit harder with our communication to get the news out. I have no idea if our team page will come back. So, let's go ahead and get everybody added to this new one in the interim. If it does come back, that's great. And if not, then at least we'll have everybody in one place again. And thank you guys again for, yeah, I know, but I've heard that the prognosis is not great for when this happens. This happened earlier this year. Like, I don't know if they do like a big round of deletions or something, but I'll try, absolutely. But in the meantime, let's not waste any time going ahead and getting everybody connected again. Worst case scenario is we just are like, never mind, we'll go back. So go ahead and get your coaches added. And for people that weren't on the call tonight and maybe they don't know what happened, try and, you know, get them added in and get your coaches adding their coaches in. It's a good problem to have that our team has so many levels that we have to make sure that no one gets left out. So let's just try and make sure. I had a couple of people message me in a panic, like, why did I get kicked out of the group? And so make sure that nobody thinks they did anything wrong or that they're being punished, that that we just get everybody plugged in. And in the meantime, if you need anything and you're nervous about if it's going to get to me, just message it to me. That way you know that I'm going to be able to see it. So, all right, guys, thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you so much to those of you who shared your stories. It's wonderful. I love hearing from you guys. I know everybody else did. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.